podcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Season 5, Episode 33, number 213. How's it going? Happy Tuesday or Friday.
Is it Tuesday?
It's Tuesday. Happy March again, guys. Well, it's March again.
Yeah. That happened very fast and very slowly, all at the same time.
Oh, my God. I was talking about, I saw my coworker yesterday at the office because, you know, we kind of try to go in staggered if we can, but it's a busy time of year. So, you know, she was in there at the same time. And I was just like, can you believe it's March again? And I was like, what if March never stopped? Like, what if we have been in March this whole time? Like, you know, yeah, like, ooh, what if March never actually ended and we're just on a March time loop? But
March Madness.
If March never really existed to begin with.
Ooh. You know, we were just talking about how it's just really been, like, we keep saying it, but it's just been such a traumatizing year. And to get back to March, where it all started, and just to have that feeling of frustration, and then to find out that states like Texas and Mississippi or Missouri or Nebraska or one of them are lifting all of their COVID restrictions, not even like mask mandates anymore.
I'm like, do conservatives understand nuance? And I think the answer is no. It's like everything is black and white, all or nothing. Yeah, we'll do some restrictions and take them all away. Like, what?
Yeah, wait, hold on. They're canceling masks. How come nobody's talking about that?
How about nobody's talking about that?
I'm going to tweet that right now. That was really funny.
They also canceled somebody from the CPAC, just saying.
Oh, Liz Cheney?
Cancel culture is strong with the Republicans.
I would argue it's stronger with the Republicans. They get all up in arm about this cancel culture, and it's like,
it's
I don't know what you're talking about. It is like not a big part of my day. Like this whole Dr. Seuss canceling thing. Like what? Like conservatives are the only ones talking about it. Like,
the thing with
I didn't know it was a thing till 6:00 this afternoon.
So they're all upset about Dr. Seuss and the Muppets and all of these things that technically...
Are the Muppets canceled?
No, they put warnings in front of some of the old Muppet Show sketches. Like the original Muppet Show is on Disney Plus now. And they put warnings of, you know, racially or just insensitive like jokes or whatever in front of them. Which was funny because... I didn't even notice. We were watching it. I had kids and Jay were watching it, and I was watching kind of in the background as I was doing my geocache puzzles. And I didn't even notice that they were doing they had the label. But I guess, you know, there's been a handful of things that they've been upset about, and every single thing was a decision of a private company, which I believe is capitalism and the free market speaking. So what is the problem here? The Mr. Potato Head thing.
Yeah. Right. What is that about?
So they're still making Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, but there's just going to be a potato head that's just called Potato Head, and you can, like, you know, put your own.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest shit to get mad about, like reaching our arms more broadly out to include everyone. Why does that upset people? I don't get it.
Right, because then the argument, because I actually got into this argument about Dr. Seuss today with like my one conservative relative, and it was like, well, you know, if you don't like Dr. Seuss, then just don't read it. It's like,
what?
It's the same logic.
But it's not like it's the actual Dr. Seuss, the House of Dr. Seuss is saying, we're just not going to publish these 6 books anymore that are very racially insensitive. I mean, we have a lot of the Dr. Seuss books because Jay picked up a shitload of them from the flea market, and every March they always sell them in the top of like the front of Target for his birthday, which was today actually.
Right.
And there are some, like, you read them and you're like, yikes. And it's not even, like, racially insensitive to, like, African Americans. A lot of it is, you know,
very
pretty
anti-Semitic,
anti-Semitic and anti-Japanese. And
yeah.
Like, I mean,
some of the, like, cartoons he did during, like, Japanese internment, like, he was a straight up racist. He was. My childhood
right,
feels,
and
like,
I understand
totally different now that I know this.
Right, like Horton Hears a Who. Like, I understand that there are certain books like that where he, like, had a come to Jesus moment later in his life, which is great. That's what we all hope, that people, you know, that travel a journey, that, you know, start out misguided, go on their journey, and then, like, try to make up for it. So, and I understand that when you read some of the later books, there's a clear distinction where he's like, "Oops, we should tolerate everybody. I was wrong." But, like,
kind of.
Kind,
we should
sort
tolerate everybody.
Yeah. Not the I was wrong. Sorry.
Not I was wrong.
Fair.
Because even when he had the chance to correct his mistakes, he never said, "I'm sorry." He never did. He's just like, "Well, we just won't color the Asian person yellow. But we'll leave the cartoon otherwise the same." Like,
right.
So it was always like a half-hearted.
You know what? Other books, and I'm just warning you, Amanda, because you know, somebody might gift them to you.
Oh, I'm sure it's coming.
The Richard Scarry books. They are.
Is that offensive?
They do not hold up. So I never really read them as a kid, but Jay had. So his dad, Jerry, sent us a whole bunch of them. Sorry, I know, Aunt Cindy, you're listening. This is not an anti-Jerry story. But, like, so he had sent us a whole bunch of them. And as we're going through it, we're like, yikes. Some of these pages definitely have some, like, you know, early Disney movies that should be canceled kind of themes. Like, they portray Native Americans. They blatantly portray the mom as the one that has to do all the cooking and the cleaning and the
the gender stereotypes are alive and well in Richard Scarry.
A lot of stereotypes in general. Like, there's one where it's like the sheriff in town, and the sheriff are like the good guys, like, clearly, like, supposed to represent, like, the majority of the people, and then all of the bad guys are like Native Americans and Black people, and it's just all sorts of. I actually took that book out of Zach's room and hid it, but I didn't do a super good job of hiding it. I actually hid it behind my dresser, like, I just kind of, because I didn't know what to do with it, so I just sort of, like, slid it there. I was like, I'll deal with this later, and he found it like 6 months later. He was like, "I've been looking for this book," and I was like, "No, you haven't."
It's like, what book?
So whenever he wants
the open window, I don't know what book you're talking about.
Whenever he wants to read it, I will say, "You know, I don't like that book, and I don't want to read that book." Like, it's fun to find the little dude that you're supposed to find. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you're supposed to find him hidden on each page, like, "Where's Waldo?"
Yeah,
and, like, that stuff.
I forgot about that.
Right. So that was fun when he was like 3 or 4, and, you know, we weren't really, like, following the stories in the picture. Oh, there's a kitty cat. But, you know, now that we're following more of the stories, I'm kind of like, nope.
Yeah.
But anyway, those, and like I said, the Dr. Seuss books are. But if you take the time to talk to your child about them as well, and why this is or isn't good, or what the moral of the story here is, that also kind of goes a long way. Because you might think they're not listening, but they are always kind of listening. And, like, for example, this morning at not even 7 o'clock, I had to break up a fight between my children and have the talk. So Zachary and Alex were talking to my mom on FaceTime. It was like 6:45 in the morning. And, they were talking about visiting her and flying on an airplane. And Alex was like, "I like airplanes." And Zach was like, "You've never been on an airplane." He was like, "Yes, I have." And he was like, "Maybe a long time ago, but you don't know what it's like flying on an airplane." And, like, they were just screaming back and forth at the top of their lungs over whether or not Alex has been on an airplane. And it called Zach aside, and I was like, "Hey, you know how when we listen to some of the podcasts in the car and it talks about, like, when you're not believing somebody's lived experiences and how it makes you frustrated. I was like, you're doing that to Alex because the two of you were on an airplane 2 months ago today. So just remember that A, you are wrong, and B, you are telling him he's wrong, but he's right. And I was like, you're not believing his experience that he's trying to insist to you is true. So just, kind of try to keep that in mind. And he was like, okay.
Wow.
Damn.
That's good parenting there. Well done. That's a tough conversation to have.
Thanks.
Sounds like you got through though.
We'll see. I'm sure he'll remember it, but he won't give a shit because at that point it becomes about just making his brother cry.
I mean, there is always going to be the I am going to pick on my younger sibling things.
Yes. Yeah, well,
you tried and you had the hard conversation. And that should be applauded.
I figured it was something that he could relate to because he does listen to I listen to a lot of political podcasts and he does listen to them in the car with me. So I figured at some point he had to kind of connect the dots on a very small scale that he could relate to.
Totally.
But don't worry, Alex trolls him back. We watched E.T. the other day, and Zachary was freaking out because, anything, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jumanji, anything where people are getting eaten by monsters doesn't scare Zachary. But anything with, feelings or the kid might get in trouble, which was in this case, terrified. So he's, literally hunched over, curled up in a ball like this, freaking out. I don't want to watch this. And we're like, you're going to watch this movie. It's not scary. Stop it. And then the next morning, we went to Costco. We were getting gas and we're waiting in the gas line. And Jay goes, so did you boys like E.T.? And Zachary's like, I didn't like it. And Alex goes, I loved it, Daddy. It wasn't scary at all.
Oh, man. Said with the perfect amount of side eye.
He did. Oh, he did. And we just burst out laughing. We were like, the troll game on this child.
No, that's perfect. But I do agree with Zach. E.T. is terrifying.
It's not that scary.
Dude, the scene with the hazmat suits when they're sick and everything, I found that to be terrifying as a child.
No, anything where a kid is going to get in trouble, Zachary cannot handle it. I think it's a precursor to anxiety, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that.
It might be.
I think it is, not even kidding.
Did you ever have a traumatic experience at school, getting disciplined?
No, but he's genetically related to me.
Well, there's that.
I come by my anxiety issues very honestly. It was a running joke in my family that I had inherited the anxiety from my grandfather's side of the family. And everybody always laughed it off. They'd be like, you have the Ferrara craziness gene. Because nobody really spoke to it or about anxiety or whatever when we were growing up. Not really, right?
Right.
So everybody acted nuts because we couldn't control our anxiety. And, in retrospect, that's what it was. We all got anxious about things and then we took it out on each other. Not me and my sisters, but the grown-ups too. I would watch the examples being set because nobody dealt with it until, now.
Right.
But anyway. So, yeah, probably gonna have to watch that. Anyway, Shandy, how was your birthday? Sorry.
It was wonderful. It was so nice to have the day off. It was a beautiful day. We went to Big Sur. We went on a hike. And we were able to find a hike that we had never done before and that was open because there's a lot that's closed because of the fires and stuff in the past. And you can only go so far down because part of the highway is missing. But I think for all of those reasons, plus it was during the week, there was almost nobody there, which never happens in Big Sur. So it was super, super nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
And you had nachos.
And we had nachos. So we went on a pretty decent hike. Then we had nachos followed by a bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah, this sounds like a great day.
Yeah, I'm down with this day.
It was wonderful. And we had a glass of wine at this place down in Big Sur where you sit right on the cliff basically. Again, it's usually packed, but because of COVID and it being midweek, it was super easy to get a seat. And then after that, when we had the nachos, we had like a beer. And we were talking about it later. It was like, yeah, for my birthday, I had a glass of wine and a beer. And like, I feel really good about that. Like, yeah, I'm 37 now.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was great. It was exactly what I wanted. And yeah, it was a wonderful birthday. And then 2 days later on Friday, I got my first dose of the COVID vaccine.
Yay!
Yeah.
Which one did you get? Do you know?
I got the Moderna.
Oh, cool.
Nice,
That's the one
nice.
Fauci got.
That's what they have at work. So I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. You tell me to make an appointment, I will make an appointment. And
That's awesome.
That's so good.
yeah, super stoked. So towards the end of March, then I'll get my second one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
it was good. I was sore, like, you know, exactly
ask,
like a flu vaccine or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sore that night, like couldn't sleep on my left side that night, but like.
Did you do the push-ups? I'm just kidding.
Well, was like, did you, like, right after you got it, you're supposed to, like, move your arm around. Like, did you do that? Yeah, no. It tells me that for the flu every year, too. And I just never think to
Did you have any of the side effects that they...
No.
Cool.
No, just soreness, but again, just like a regular shot. I've heard that the second dose is sometimes the one that gets you. So we'll see, but...
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have an appointment to get my first shot.
Ooh! I was going to ask, are you eligible to get one?
I am eligible. New York, as of Valentine's Day, New York added pregnancy as a comorbidity.
Oh, that's wow. A, that's terrifying to hear that. But B, awesome.
But awesome. Yeah, and I went to my doctor on Friday and we talked about it and she's like, yeah, get it. But like get it soon because like she wants so I can get the second vaccine like before we get too close to like the drop zone.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that like the second vaccine like hits you a little harder.
Yeah.
So I got an appointment for the 10th. So that's like just kind of at the cusp of being almost too late.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's better that than wait till Lord knows when.
Totally.
So
that's awesome. That is, oh my God.
I'm pretty excited about it. I feel a little like I'm cutting the line, but
no, dude,
you know,
it.
Yeah. And knowing that like they're starting to speed up and that, you know, it'll be easier for people to get appointments in the coming months when I will be healing and recovering. That it makes me feel like I'm just planning ahead.
So 2 out of 3 broads are going to be vaccinated soon. That's exciting.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And the White House announced today that they anticipate being able to secure enough vaccine doses by the end of May for everyone.
Yeah, the numbers are looking really good.
Yeah.
We're in phase 3 here in North Carolina. So Jay's sister is a teacher at a middle school, and she got her first shot yesterday.
Nice.
They open up to courthouse personnel because they deal with the public. And I know a few lawyers who have gotten sick and they are gotten COVID and they are pretty sure that they got it at the courthouse. But of course, you know, they're not positive.
Right.
But so they're in phase 3 because they started to follow the federal guidelines, I think. And then phase 4 is people with pre-existing conditions, comorbidities like obesity, who are otherwise healthy, smokers, diabetics, that, that's group 4, and that starts on March 24th. So then that phase will be several weeks. So I'm hoping that by the end of April, we're in phase 5, and I'm phase 5, which is all other healthy adults.
Yeah, we were waiting for Frank also, and I have no idea when it will be for him. But we got to sign up for like alerts, so at least hopefully we'll be like fully in the loop.
That's what I did too, was sign up to get an email when I was ready.
The moment that they open those floodgates, sign him the fuck up. And now with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine too, hopefully that will help as well to have a third one out there.
Yeah. I'm optimistic. And I also understand that I am very fortunate that I can, if I wanted to, go for days without seeing another person other than, you know, Zach is back at school full time, but like, The teachers you're all in the process of getting vaccinated.
Nice.
Some of the teachers from Alex's daycare posted pictures over the weekend that they were able to get their shots. So, because it was opened up, I guess it must have been this weekend. Must have been when it was opened up, because Jay's sister texted us on Thursday or Friday, and she was like, "I'm in for Monday." So. But yeah, they're moving along with it so much quicker, which I also can't help but wonder is that people actually, whether they refuse to wear a mask or not, like, are all about getting the vaccine. Kind of makes, all the anti-maskers, like, my freedom, are also like not, they must, if they're moving along so quickly and so many people have been vaccinated, what are we up to, like 60 something million in 30 something days or 40 something days? Like, they're ahead of schedule with it.
Yeah.
Which means I think that means people are getting vaccinated. They might be talking a big game, but they're still getting jabbed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get the mask thing.
Yeah.
But.
You guys listen to the Daily. They anticipate by the end of next year or the end of this year, kids can start getting it.
Yeah, that was an interesting episode because it's something that I hadn't even thought about, like the big portion of the population that kids represent. So until they're vaccinated too.
Yep.
Yeah, but it makes sense, like with, the way that it spreads and how they just have natural lower whatever, like rate of transmissibility. So it makes sense to prioritize the people that, are more likely to.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
100%
And just like
agree.
the ethics around like testing on children and babies, and
I'm okay with them following the ethics for that.
Right. It's like I get all of it.
Yeah.
But and it's something that I like hemmed and hawed about a lot, and talked to a lot of doctors and OBGYNs that I happen to know in my life. It's like, because it's like it is a little bit of a risk that, like, the data shows that it's probably fine, but like we don't conclusively know that.
Right. And well, that's why with so many, not so many, but there are different vaccines where just ethically they've never tested them on pregnant women. So that's why they just don't give it to them. Thankfully, they do have like a flu shot when you're pregnant that doesn't have live virus in it. And, they have the different shots that, you do have to get. The Tdap, DTaP, I never remember what it's called.
DTaP.
DTaP.
No, DTaP. Tdap.
It's either DTaP or Tdap. I know. I was going to say you have to get it.
In this case, because Daniel needs to get it.
He needs to get it. We wouldn't let. We told it's the whooping cough one, Shandy. But I can also never.
And it's like it's all your boosters.
Yeah. I can never remember if it's DTaP
so
or
it's like
Tdap.
that. It's like not tendonitis. What's the one where you like rusty nail?
Tetanus. Yeah, tetanus. Yeah, tetanus. That's right. Sorry, not
protect my baby from tendonitis. Get his elbow.
Yeah, right. I mean, you want to give them a fighting chance to. So wait, what's the whooping cough one? Because there's a whooping cough one too that they recommend.
Is whooping cough in the Tdap? Because it's
hold on.
Yeah, it's like
it's part of the Tdap. Tdap,
right? Because each one it stands for something.
Yes, it does. It's
tendonitis,
diphtheria,
and pertussis.
Wait, it's actually diphtheria.
It is,
yeah.
and
I didn't realiase that was still around and kicking.
It's not because they have a shot for it.
Well, vaccine for it. Funny how vaccines work.
But like we don't get polio vaccines anymore,
right?
You know what I mean?
And I'm sure there's a reason.
Well, because it was eradicated
for that, but not being a scientist myself, I don't feel comfortable speaking to it.
I just thought diphtheria had, or maybe I'm thinking of dysentery. I'm like thinking of the Oregon Trail.
You might be thinking of dysentery because the bacteria that
tendonitis.
So it's very rare. There's less than 20,000 cases in the United States thanks to the vaccine, but it is highly communicable and it is a serious infection of the nose, throat, and throat that's easily preventable by vaccine.
Nice.
There you go.
But it's caused by a bacteria, so that must be why they still...
Yeah.
Because viruses can die if they don't have anybody else to infect, I think.
Bacteria can
There's a scientist screaming at us right now.
I Well, please reach out and come be on the show. We would love to talk to you.
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, so pertussis, whatever, however you pronounce it.
I think it's pertussis.
Pertussis is the whooping cough part of it.
Yes.
And I wouldn't let anybody see Zachary unless they had their shots.
Yeah. No, my parents have it. I'm sure Daniel's parents
and everybody
have it because they are medical people by profession. And Daniel asked if he could get it when we go to the hospital to have the baby.
No.
And I was like, no, probably not.
No, it needs
to do that ahead of time.
Yeah. You need that shit to be like in your blood.
It's a pandemic. I don't like leaving the house either, but
yeah, he
but
needs
if
to
you
get
could just do me that solid, I'd really appreciate it.
Because it takes I think the reason that you have to get it by the time you're 32 weeks, I think it is.
Yeah.
Because
so I did it. They gave it to me the same time I had my glucose test 3 weeks ago.
Okay, because I tested the boundaries and like went right up to like right before 32 weeks with Zach, and I forget why. There was a reason. I think there might have been a holiday or something that like threw it off. I can't remember, but there was a reason, and I got the lecture, which is why that 32-week thing sticks in my mind.
Interesting.
And that was the first shot that I did the push-ups for.
Nice. And did it work?
Yeah, that one did kind of hurt like a bitch. Yeah. My arm was sore for a couple days after that one.
Yeah, I had heard and I had read on a baby center forum to do push-ups, and that was the first. I think that was the first shot I did the push-ups for.
Yeah.
See, you do learn something from internet forums that could be useful. Not all toxic, just mainly. Did anybody watch the Golden Globes?
Nope. I watched like 20 minutes of it.
I didn't watch any. Jay watched some of it on Peacock because he signed up for the free trial to watch Punky Brewster, because they have a new Punky Brewster show.
Yeah, I read about that. Any good?
He really likes it so far.
Nice,
I never watched it as a kid, so I was like, you can watch it without me. Like, if it's really great, I'll catch up in the whole week that we have the free trial going on.
Punky was my girl.
I think you would really like it. It seems to, from the clips that I've seen, it seems to be pretty good.
All right, maybe, yeah.
Very inclusive. And Freddie Prinze Jr. is in it. And
is he now?
He is.
Cool.
Which I every time I see Freddie Prinze Jr., I'm always like, I know you are an active actor, but I always forget about you.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, oh yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar's husband.
No offense, but yeah, it's like, put him on a shelf and forget he's there.
He's like fully in my 1990s, 2000s, like, memory, and I can't even picture what he looks like after that.
Probably, I would imagine much the same.
He looks the same, only with gray hair. Like he's salt and pepper.
I think that could really work for him. Actually, I'm gonna look him right now.
That tracks. Yeah. The Golden Globes I thought were like a little weird.
I heard it looks
great.
Hit or miss with just in general that there was a lot of technical difficulties.
I didn't see too much of the technical. Okay. I just couldn't help but notice how white it was.
Yeah.
Which, I guess is just an award show thing. That's just, something we come to expect from award shows when the Hollywood Foreign Press is just like a, bunch of fame-hungry folk that don't have any oversight at all. So, but I did see Chadwick Boseman's win for
modeling. Oh, his wife spoke, right?
And his wife. So that I thought was really, really pretty moving. But we have a digital antenna, so the reception was not great. So I was missing a lot of what she was saying, which was kind of a bummer because it looked like it was,
You can watch it on YouTube because I saw clips on a blog, but I didn't actually watch them. But like they had embedded YouTube clips.
Yeah.
So you can definitely see them there.
That's always my thing. If I miss an award show, I'm like, I'll catch, the YouTube or like, the roundup clips the next day. I never do. If I don't watch it, I'm not catching up with the clips. I get halfway through one clip and then, I don't know, a shiny thing rolls across the floor and I'm off doing something else and I never go back to it.
So back when I was in the office, I would take any excuse. So I would watch all the clips.
Fair. However, I did watch this weekend Always Be My Maybe.
Yay!
I loved it.
I told you.
It was so entertaining. I like just sat down, like I sort of put it on as like background because I was going to do some like craft projects.
Yeah. And
the craft project didn't pan out, like whatever. But the movie was so good. It was so great. It was so funny.
Okay, I'm so glad. I forgot we talked about that because I think we talked about it not on the record, like not while recording.
Yeah. So listeners, we talked about Always Be My Maybe last week. Sorry we didn't let you in on it.
Well, now I really have to watch it then.
But it was really great. Yeah. It's like Daniel would walk into the room and would just laugh at a joke out of context. Like that's when you know something is objectively funny. Where like you can just walk into the room, hear the punchline and be like, and start laughing.
Yeah.
But so I think we're going to have to watch it again. Because I was like, I think you would really like this movie. Yeah. It was great. So thank you for the recommendation.
You're welcome. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right.
It's so fucking good. Okay. There's a whole bunch of new shows on Netflix, that dropped over the last week. One of them apparently is like one of those white people trying too hard shows. It's called Ginny and Georgia. Has anybody heard of it?
I started watching it actually.
And what did you think about it? Because I haven't heard great things. I've heard it's Gilmore Girls trying too hard, made by white people trying to be woke, but just falls flat.
I mean, I'm a few episodes in, so I think there are elements of it that are interesting, but it's like it feels like Gilmore Girls meets Little Fires Everywhere.
Huh.
It did give me those vibes, and I didn't even finish reading Little Fires Everywhere. But I read enough to know the mother-daughter relationship in that book. I got that.
But I like the character of the daughter. It's unfortunate to hear that that's written by a bunch of white people.
I don't know for sure, but I only read one review on it because I watched the trailer the other night and was intrigued.
Yeah, it keeps popping up on my things to watch.
Yeah,
it's like, and I hate this about Netflix. When you log into Netflix, it will instantly start playing just something a trailer of something. You're like, I just want to quietly browse for what I actually want to watch.
You know what it keeps playing for me? Some show called Firefly Lane.
Yeah, I get that one a lot too.
Okay, with Katherine Heigl and Sarah Chalke from Scrubs.
I have heard that one is good. My friend watched that on a recommendation from her friend.
Okay,
and said it was a good, just bingeable.
Okay, good. I was hoping you were going to say that because it's the first thing that pops up for me on Netflix, and I'm kind of like, all right, I kind of want to watch this show now.
Yeah, it's just from what I can gather, I think it's just like a big bag of Cheetos. Like it's not good for you.
I love Cheetos,
but really comforting and just goes down easy.
Okay, cool.
That sounds great. That's kind of what I was looking for when I started watching Ginny and Georgia.
Yeah.
Or Georgia and Ginny. But because I thought it was supposed to be kind of a comedy, but it's a lot darker than
Well, if you finish it, tell us what you think, because I am curious. I know Taylor Swift was very upset about a joke made about her in it and released a statement.
Oh
my.
So
don't think I've gotten to that part yet.
Okay. But apparently, they make a joke at her expense, and she calls them out on it being sexist. And she's like, 2010 would like their joke back.
Ooh. Ooh. Clap back from T Swift.
I believe it was 2010 would like their misogynistic joke back.
Ooh. Ooh.
I could see that happening.
So
we'll see.
Okay, because I am intrigued because I keep seeing it, but I only read the one review and didn't. It's the Firefly Lane one, which Netflix must really think that is targeted towards me. Cool. And then one final bit of news before we move on. Fallon actually shared with me this tweet today from Madeline Barron, and I had completely missed it. Mississippi Circuit Judge George Mitchell just ordered the state of Mississippi to pay Curtis Flowers $500,000 in compensation for being wrongfully imprisoned for more than 20 years.
Wow.
But
that's great.
Is it though? Because
$500,000 seems like a pretty low price tag for
Stephen Avery.
I mean, yes, but it's cost of living. And it's not a super expensive part of the world, and it's at least it's some recognition of
Some
injustice.
Yeah, but Stephen Avery made $36 million for 18 years.
Right. Well,
like
whoever
even
said
cost
the
of
American
living
justice system is just.
Like he was in prison for a really long time and subjected to a lot of, I don't know. He's only being paid for 10 of the 20 years because the statute was passed in 2009 and is not retroactive. The statute says the statute says they pay you $50,000 for every year you were in jail, but not interest. So incarceration,
not interest.
So each year of incarceration is worth less than the one before. He'll be paid in installments that will take the same amount of time that he was in prison. So they'll only give him $50,000 a year, essentially, for the next 10 years.
So weird.
I'm going to take back my, this is great.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
that's pretty shitty.
So like if you take out money for student loans, they will for sure as fuck charge you interest and compound that like later on. But in this case, they're not going to dish out the interest. That seems
no.
Okay.
And if you think about it, he was in prison for over 20 years, and they're only doing $50,000 a year. That means he made just under $25,000 a year for he'll be for each year in prison. So. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That sounds pretty shitty to me. And it's only
does he have to pay taxes on this money? Like,
probably.
I'm sure he does. Oh,
is it going to be taxed as like a bonus?
Yeah, right.
They were like, and as for that,
prize money, like what? Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
It's something, but it's
something, but it's not enough.
No, it's not. Anyway, I just thought that bit of news was still news to talk about. All things
definitely
considered.
Noteworthy, yes.
Indeed, I had not seen that.
So thank you, Fallon, for sending that my way. I appreciate it. Okay, real quick. Have you guys seen, there was a Twitter party this week, and Ro tagged us in it. There was a Twitter party that it was users making fun of cliches, like film cliches and tropes and TV tropes and whatnot. I think the one that started it off the first one I saw was, hold on, here we go. Hello, I'm a person talking on a phone in a film. I never say goodbye when I hang up, and weirdly, nobody else in that film ever seems to think that is really fucking rude.
Yes. I noticed that too. It's so fucking annoying.
It is. So let me put this in the chat if you guys want to get in on it. Another one is, hello, I am a woman in a film who has just had insanely hot sex. My bra is still on, of course.
Can I add to that
yes.
They didn't use any protection and that she didn't have an orgasm? Because that's how the sex is always on.
So the thing that always gets me about TV and movie sex is even when the woman does have an orgasm, they never show them cleaning it up. It's like, now we're done and we're just going to get dressed.
Yep.
And I'm like, all of the UTIs that are going on in Hollywood right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No,
Hollywood life.
It's not how it happens.
That always bothers me. Just saying. Please feel free to jump in. Hello, I'm a murder witness being interviewed at my home by detectives in a crime drama. I don't give them my full attention and continue washing the car / pruning the roses / feeding the chickens throughout.
Hello, I'm a person driving a car in a film. I rarely look at the road when I drive because it's more important that I face the person in the passenger seat, and weirdly nobody else thinks that is really fucking dangerous.
Oh my god, yes, that drives me nuts.
Oh gosh.
Okay, here's one. I am a single mother in a film. I have no job. I have no money, but I do have a sweet little bungalow near the beach, perfectly decorated and with a gorgeous yard.
Can we say Jane from Big Little Lies?
Exactly.
Well, you forgot to add in, and I've got these real sweet bangs.
I do like
she
Jane's
didn't have the bungalow and the bangs at the same time. Two separate seasons.
True.
You can't, that's just too much. You can't have both things at once. That's insanity.
This is America, Amanda. You can have whatever you want at once.
Right. And then be canceled for it.
right, here's one. Hello, I'm a mom making breakfast in a film. I serve fresh pastries, fruit salad, and bacon rashers on a tablecloth table and juice in a jug. My children never eat it, though. They grab a bagel and walk out the door because they're always about to miss the school bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say food in general. And this happens also at restaurants. Like, they'll order something and then none of it gets eaten, and then they leave. Dude, don't waste food.
Yes.
Also, you need to eat.
Because it's a pain in the ass to shoot those kind of scenes, to shoot like scenes where everybody's actually eating, because the continuity of then editing it to all those camera angles
I'm sure
is very, very complicated. So if you don't have a huge post-production budget, the food usually sits uneaten because it's just too hard to try and make that edit that together.
A little behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
That will actually help me to at least look past that a little bit, but it does drive me down.
Because then it's like the actor has to chew at the same place as they deliver their lines at every camera angle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like impossible to like edit it together properly.
But it is really fun when you're a viewer and you spot those things because they're like harmless in the plot. And you're like, hey.
And I think people sometimes kind of like that. They like to feel like they're like, ooh, in the sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, or that time that they had the coffee cup in Game of Thrones.
Yep. Yeah, people kind of love that stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Which brings me to this next one. Hello, I am a character in a film holding a paper cup of coffee and gesturing with it in a way that makes it obvious there's no coffee in the cup.
You know what? Some actors are just not good with prompts.
I feel like this one's related to that. Hello, okay. I'm a person drinking in a pub in a film or TV show, and I never finish my pint before I leave, and no one thinks this is really weird.
Oh, that's wasteful. That always makes me
very
mad.
Wasteful.
Because like, who actually does that?
Right?
No one leaves a bar with an unfinished drink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, that's not true. I have seen people do that. Or I used to like. It used to be like a thing in New York bars where like people would leave their drink on the bar and they'd put like a coaster on top to go out and like smoke or something to like hold their seat.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe this happens other places too.
No, this happens here too. And I think it's also to like not get roofied, but like that's not.
Yeah, that's not a thing. That doesn't deter.
Because no woman is doing that. It's a dude. It's a dude that's putting the coaster. Like a woman is like, hell no, I'm going to finish this because I am not getting roofied today.
Right, because guess what? Somebody that wants to roofie somebody else is not going to be like, oh, how clever. They put that there. You know what?
I won't touch that.
Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind.
Barrier.
Right.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
Hello, I am a person administering CPR in on TV or in a film and absolutely must shout, "Don't you die on me!" at least once.
Oh, that's good. Ooh, this one must be clearly coming from a musician themselves. This is Hello, I am a pianist in a film. My fingers rarely push the keys down, and when they do, they're rarely the correct ones. I sway back and forth so wildly to show how great I am at playing the wrong notes. That person clearly is not a fan of fake piano playing in film.
That is hilarious.
You were heard, my friend. You were heard.
I as a teacher, I like this one. Hi, I'm a teacher in a film, and the bell always rings just as I'm summing up the lesson. So I just shout that I want your test papers on my desk by Thursday morning. It's called lesson planning and time management. That shit doesn't actually happen unless you're not good at time management.
That's so true, though. That happens in so many things. Okay, as a frequent viewer of these types of things, hello, I am a hacker on TV or in a movie, and will now use the DOS prompt to hack the Pentagon.
Hello, I'm a woman working in high office in government. I only wear pencil skirts, high heels that make walking difficult, and no fucking pockets. The men around me wear suits, walk easily, and have multiple pockets.
Yes.
Any show, or like the the hospital shows where like the doctors are walking around all day, 12-hour shifts in high heels. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Hello, I'm a person waking up in the morning in a film, and I don't need to pee. Nobody else in the film thinks that I'm a medical marvel. That, goes along with the self-cleaning genitalia from the earlier one.
Yeah.
Speaking of self-cleaning genitalia,
yes.
Hello, I'm a woman in a film who's hitched up my skirt and had sex with a coworker in the mailroom. When it's over, I pull up my knickers, smooth down my skirt, and walk back out to the office. There's nothing dribbling down my legs.
Thank you. Let's see. Anything else? Last ones. Hello, I'm a person in a film, and when I argue with my partner, I grab a pillow and sleep miserably on the sofa, despite living in an 8-bedroom house. That would totally happen in a movie like the Happiest Season.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, okay. I think this one feels real in my life right now.
I think I just saw the one that you're about to read.
You probably did. You probably did. Hello. I am a woman giving birth in a film. It takes 7 minutes. I pace about a bit, lie back on a bed, get very abruptly sweaty, yell, and then there's a baby. The baby is clean and larger than you would expect. That's how it happens, right? Just like that.
It is. Yes, Amanda.
7 minutes and I'm done, right?
That is exactly how it happens. I'm air stroking you right now. That's what happens.
That's right. If the films have taught me anything, there's a big splash, we rush to the hospital, and it's over in 7 minutes.
And you're going to have a clean baby, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to give birth to like a 12-year-old. That's how big film babies are.
I know they are. Which actually, I think the one right under that actually might have been the same thing. It was it was just a reply to, I'm sure there's rules against using actual newborn babies. Yes, dumbass. Of course there are.
Yeah, there is.
That's not what this is about.
Hello, I'm a villain who has captured the hero, and despite having accomplices who are fully armed along with myself, I don't kill you, but instead, once you leave the room, leave you in a room by yourself, tied to a chair, awaiting some kind of device that will hasten your demise. It doesn't. Good times. Any last ones, Shandy?
Let's see. This kind of
I found mine.
Piggybacks on the morning pee one. Hello, I'm a person in a film who wakes up totally ready to have sex, eat breakfast, drink coffee in bed without having to go to the bathroom first.
Nope, before and after.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta go. We've talked about this many a times in our last 5 seasons.
Yes.
Yeah, before and after, both times.
Yep. Clear that track. Shandy, you'll appreciate this one. Hello, I'm a person in a... Well, Amanda, you will too, obviously. I'm sorry.
No. Should I just leave?
yeah, earmuffs. Hello, I'm a person in a film repeatedly firing a gun indoors without any hearing protection and won't be quite deaf afterwards, suffering severe hearing loss and tinnitus for the rest of my life.
I do love how very British most of these responses are.
I know.
Like, I am an actress in a program.
With 2 M's and an E.
Right. I'm a human at a pub.
Yeah.
All right, and the final one is, hello, I'm a person in a film who says, okay, I'll pick you up later, but then actually doesn't specify what time.
Yeah, they never do.
That always bugs the shit out of me.
Yeah.
All right, good times. Let's take our quick commercial break, and then we will come back and do feedback and close out the show.
Sounds good.
Great.
All right, we are back. We're going to get into some feedback. The first bit is from Matt, who says, I've been watching the latest HBO documentary series, Allen v. Farrow, about their troubled relationship and the allegations against Woody Allen. If you can handle the difficult themes, it's worth watching. I also checked out Nomadland on Hulu. Director-screenwriter Chloe Zhao does a great job of creating a sense of place in this community of largely older people roaming all over the Western United States. It will be interesting to see how she transitions from those small-budget movies whenever we can safely see Eternals from that little indie upstart Marvel in a theater. Frances McDormand feels like a lock for an Oscar nomination, if not becoming the second woman to win 3 times.
Yeah, I will say I actually watched Nomadland over the weekend, and I really liked it. I thought it was beautiful, and I really love the fact that there is a role for a woman of that age. And yeah, Frances McDormand was awesome, but it's just we never see the stories of those kinds of people in the movie anyway, but then add to that like a woman of that age. It's worth watching.
Okay.
Great.
I will.
Yeah, it was on my list. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's where Prime?
Hulu.
Okay.
I will check it out. I don't know if I will check it out before next week. But Chloe Zhao was the first Asian American to win a Golden Globe as a director.
I think just woman of color.
Oh, really?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so, other than, the Hollywood press scandals, I am so far behind with all that movie stuff this year. It's kind of crazy. Like political stuff just took over everything else in my brain.
Yeah, no, I am as well. I just happened to catch that one headline.
Cool.
It is the other, and even that, I'm not 100% certain I'm correct in that.
Well, speaking of that little indie upstart Marvel, are you caught up on WandaVision?
Yes.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's really good.
I am thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, good.
And it's and I'm not super caught it hip to Marvel or the MCU. I had to look up what that meant. I didn't know what that was.
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
right. Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know that now. And then I definitely don't know anything about the comics. And so it's been kind of fun to then go and research these things on the side.
Yes.
Dig a little deeper. So yeah, I've been enjoying it very, very much.
Yeah, the WandaVision stuff is very fascinating.
It's really, it's really good.
And Catherine Hahn is the best.
I mean, she is just great in everything. I mean, Catherine Hahn is really one of my favorites.
I know.
I love her so much.
I know. And I read a comment. I don't even think it was in the article, but it was a comment in the article that was I would love to see Catherine Hahn become the next Loki, where she just does things on both sides shows up randomly throughout people's movies, does good things on both sides just to be self-serving, and just choose the fuck out of all the scenery.
Yeah. Can we please have that be a thing?
I think it's gonna have to be a thing.
I think and she's a big enough named actress that that makes sense.
Right. She's not any. I mean, Tom Hiddleston was probably on the same level as her when he started.
Or even further behind. I feel she's had a very established career. Who was Tom Hiddleston before Loki?
Right.
And Taylor Swift.
One might say Tom Hiddleston was asking himself during the Taylor Swift stuff, who am I?
Who am I?
What am I doing here?
How am I a part of all this?
Which was very much the look on Ryan Reynolds' face in that picture. You've seen the picture of all of them on the porch, and all the women are smiling, and Ryan Reynolds is looking what the fuck am I doing here?
What is this?
I love that picture so much. Okay. End scene. Breathe. Okay. Sherry said, Colleen, I love your personal stories. Never feel like you're boring us. Thank you, Sherry. That's very kind. I frequently feel like I am boring and talk too much. But thank you. In the last episode, you shared a personal story and said I'm going to delete that, but that was boring, but it wasn't. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I guess upon re-listening to and editing, I was like, I've got the time to keep it in. Sure. Maggie shared a link of a article about an upcoming movie, a Jeff Buckley biopic. Yep.
You can tell I don't read our outline before we start recording. Yes, this is the best news ever.
With Reeve Carney.
Yes, I've been saying that for years. For years, I've been saying they need to make a Jeff Buckley biopic with Reeve Carney.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I feel like I know this actually.
Looked at him.
Yeah.
He's perfect. He
does look a lot like him.
I have been saying this for years, and the universe has listened. Oh, Maggie, this is the best.
Well, Maggie brings up the old Metrobus reference with, I'm pretty sure, Amanda, you have to remember, Jeff Buckley, Tina Fey, Mira.
Vaguely.
So when we were doing Metrobus a million years ago, Jay and I had bonded before we started dating, or it was right before we started dating, over Jeff Buckley. And we talked about him a lot on Metrobus, and there was supposed to be a Jeff Buckley biopic with, oh my God, we talked about it and I cut it out last week. The dude from Gossip Girl.
Right.
That
movie got made. Movie got made.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was more about Tim Buckley.
Oh, okay. I never saw it, but I feel like maybe I need to go back. But that was like a big thing.
I never saw it either, but I saw like trailers for it when it came out.
Okay.
It was just like a little indie. I don't think it.
No
like,
way. Okay.
Yeah.
That's I maybe I knew that. I don't know. But I might go watch it now.
Yeah, but I believe Brad Pitt's company, was it Plan B? They had the rights for a biopic for a long time.
Yeah, they did. Interesting. Is this it? Is this by Plan B?
Let's find out. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Sometimes I will randomly just Google like Jeff Buckley biopic to see if like anything is happening.
We loved us some Jeff Buckley. I still love me some Jeff Buckley. Okay, it's Culmination Productions, it looks like. So yes, Tina Fey, I was into Tina Fey, and I used to say Mira. I still say Mira instead of Mirror. Mm-hmm. So it became an inside joke from Metrobus. Anyway, for the win, old school reference. Thanks, Maggie. Let's get into some That's What She Said.
I feel like this is apropos. We're not going to go back and redo that.
We're doing it live. I've truly been feeling it. Yeah, that's also accurate for right now.
I think you'd approve if you'd had them.
We're done.
I'm gonna do something else.
Also, apropos to our Twitter party, I'm soaking wet now.
And do you find it smells bad afterwards?
Always.
Not if you clean up.
I kid. I only ever had it one time.
We'll figure out how to do it. It's okay.
Let us know if you want it. No. Let us know if you want in.
Let's figure out how to put this back in.
We're easier to access.
We're hoping to hump on March 6th.
I'm motioning how it looked on here.
It was the big round one.
Hey, speaking of humping on March 6th, is that still happening?
Yes. Would you like to hump on March 6th?
It's in my calendar.
Okay, good.
I haven't bought my tickets yet, but I'm down to hump on March 6th.
Okay.
I keep forgetting I have to buy tickets.
I haven't bought mine yet either, and Jay was like, can I have band practice on March 6th? And I was like, but we have to watch Hump. And he was like, but I really want to do band practice. It's nice weather now, so they can open windows. Jay double masks it when he has the filters in the cloth mask, and he puts the disposable masks in the filters.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Nice. I just do a paper mask and then a cloth mask over top. It's not ideal. It's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why he started just cutting them into the shape to stick them in.
Yeah.
We also got the KN94 masks, which are the ones that they use for SARS in Asia.
Nice.
So if you want to get those, Amanda, they're on Amazon.
Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah, because they're like the good ones.
Yeah. Well, and I think for delivery at the hospital, say you have to wear a mask at all times. And I'm like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, I know. Well, the only thing is Jay took that because he had band practice and he said it was really hard to like make facial expressions with it. So.
Which is a very important part of rocking out.
And giving birth.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
For those 7 minutes.
For those 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, check. They aren't on Prime. They ship for free, but they're not on Prime. So mine took like 2.5 weeks to get here.
Okay.
So just a heads up if you do want to get it for the hospital.
Okay. But yeah, but if they're hard for facial expressions, then maybe
But you're going to be in the hospital after that.
That's
so
true.
You're going to have to wear a mask probably when the nurses come in and stuff. So you probably want something heavy duty since they're going
I'll
from
also
room
be
to room.
vaccinated at that point.
True.
Yeah.
But
still, I
still.
suppose it couldn't hurt. Daniel won't be vaccinated, so if anything, just...
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll look into it.
Cool. Good times. I don't know how we got onto that, so... Oh, Hump.
From Hump.
Yes.
Hump.
Yeah, so Jay might be at band practice, so I might be humping alone, but I guess I'll just make a lot of humping by myself jokes. It'll be fine. Okay, so if anybody wants to join us, we're going to figure out how to stream it.
Not stream.
Not stream.
Have a group chat so we can all be talking.
So we're all going to start it at the same time and talk about it? Or are we all going to watch?
It's an
live,
event, right? It's live. So it starts at
Oh
a
my
certain
God,
point.
duh. Okay.
So we just have to set up our own chat
Okay.
so that we all could be.
Okay, so we're all going to be in the same group chat over it. How are we going to set that up?
If people just want to tell us, either email the show or tell us on Facebook or whatever, I can create a group on Messenger or if you guys want to do a text messaging thing or
Messenger might be the easiest. But if we just if people reach out to us ahead of time, we can just set up a Messenger group and then we can all just.
Can we set up a Slack?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we can set up a Slack.
Okay. I don't know how to, but Jay uses Slack for work all the time. So
I could try to. I have a Slack account for.
I do too.
My family, but we can figure it out.
Okay.
If I create the Slack group, then on my resume I can claim that I'm proficient in Slack, right?
Yes.
That's how that works.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so 9:00 Eastern on Saturday, March 6th, we're going to set up a group Slack, and we will send you the link. So either let us know on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or email us, thebroadcasters3@gmail.com. Let us know. We'll check all those things beforehand, and we will privately send you the Slack channel. We're not going to set it up publicly.
Yeah. Just us.
Yeah, but we will privately get you into the Slack, so let us know if you want to do it. Otherwise, I guess we'll be slacking by ourselves. Cool. All right. Well, that's awesome. I'm really excited about that. So, March 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Look at a time zone clock on your iPhone for any other time zone that you.
I can't do everything for you.
All right. Finishing up with an email from Andy. Here we go.
All right. Andy writes in, this year in Andy's virginity. Hey, broads. I told my boss about how I've been feeling, and thankfully she's understanding. Also, being the one person in my department puts me in a weird position where if I were to quit, they'd be in a bad shape until they could find a new team, which could be several months from now. Hopefully, I don't find myself having to quarantine before I get a vaccine. I'm sure they want to fill these positions quickly, but there's been no news on prospects. For now, I'm just trying to juggle my tasks differently than before. Usually I'm the kind of person who'll do one task, finish it, and then move on to the next. However, due to the demands from multiple departments, I have to do some of one task, then switch over to another, higher priority task, and so on, hopefully without forgetting any of those abandoned tasks along the way. And you are right. The company can reconfigure how my department works to make the company the most money. I have heard them consider sharing the third person in my department with another one, but we haven't had enough people to implement that. We all know by now the sad truth of how expendable we are to companies from the roller coaster that has been the economy in our adult lives. Dude, no kidding. Like, speaking as people who came of age in the last financial crisis. I tend to be more loyal on my end, both because that looks good on a resume and I hate looking for jobs. It's like online dating for me. Not much to say on that end either. So many unresponsive prospects, time-stealing dead ends, and insecurity triggers. Also on the job end, I tend to only find postings in my area that are a step or two below what I'm doing, or a giant leap that has all these requirements and nothing in between. Well, I won't be looking for a job for the time being, so maybe I'll try to leave this stuff for another day. That's about it for me. I haven't read that book or looked for any articles lately, but maybe I will if nothing interesting happens at the job. I probably will. And maybe talk about the year in lockdown. Hashtag I'm 6 feet from hers, Andy.
Andy, I'm just saying, lists work really great when you have to multitask.
Definitely.
Big fan.
Have you ever even tried just to, like, you know, just make columns or boxes with the tasks that you have to do and then, like, check it off as it's done? Or, like, if you have to move on to another one, like, you know, write down in a bullet point or something underneath that one what still needs to get done, and then you can move on and then you just refer back to it? Because I do a lot of that.
Yeah, I like to cross. I completely cross it off. And then if it gets my to-do list gets too messy, I rewrite it. So then I just copy over the things that I hadn't done and add on the new things.
Yeah. Yeah, I do the same. Well, I also kind of do the hybrid bullet journal like method of anything in the left column are things that I need to prioritize, anything that I think that probably could go to another day, I put in, like, the right column. It's all in, like, the dot grid, but, like, you know, I do it 2 columns. And then I know that hopefully, you know, what's going to carry over to another day is going to be, like, on the right. But, you know, we all have our ways of doing things.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good luck with that. I hope that they hire somebody, and I hope that they don't just, like, saddle you with more work indefinitely. Because that's shitty.
Yeah, it's not okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Andy, for sharing. And we hope that you are having a wonderful week. Happy March continued.
March again.
Actually, I feel like I need to call this episode March, interrupted.
March interrupted.
I love it.
I like it. I think it's good. A solid pun.
Thanks. A play on, you know, March and our mental health.
Yeah, it works on so many levels.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Thank everybody for listening. Thanks for the feedback. We really appreciate it. Real quick, I did tweet the joke about conservatives canceling masks, and Judy responded on Twitter, I feel bad for the people and businesses that are going to try to do the right thing and continue to wear masks, but will get all sorts of pushback. Yeah, guys, please, like, anticipate the rise of maskless Karen, because it's going to get real bad when people are like, it's my God-given right. The government says I don't have to wear a mask. And it's like, sir, this is a private business. Ma'am, this is a private business.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're trying to cancel me. And it'll be like, yes, I'm not covered under the First Amendment, but thank you. So anyway, just brace yourself, guys. There's going to be a whole lot of Chad and Karen videos coming out next week of anti-mask people.
Oh my God, yeah. You know, it really, like, the mask thing, it really does remind me of the gun obsession. Because it's like this thing that's, like, objectively, and I mean objectively, bad for society for us to, like, be so gun crazy.
Yeah.
But because people feel this sort of, like, individual, I don't know, like, imperative to have their toys, they're going to, you know, pitch a fit and say that it's their freedom, right? And it's like the same thing, even though they're doing harm to society, like, as a whole, which is the same as wearing a mask. Like, it's not wearing a mask is a thing that's, like, objectively bad for public health. But because people are so individualistic and also don't understand, like, these like, observable, like, objective truths, they pitch a fit.
Also,
I don't think it's that they don't understand. Yeah. I think they just choose
not to. Yeah.
But I think also a part of it is a lot of the mentality is, we've got the haves, and we've joked about it, the haves, the have-nots, and the have absolutely nothing, and people feel a sense of powerlessness in their lives because they're still making $7.25 an hour or whatever the fuck minimum wage is, and they're unhappy because nothing is working for them. So by getting angry and getting aggrieved and finding reasons to finding a way to direct your anger, in this case being the lockdowns or the masks, where, it's I have control over this. I can get mad over this. Now, one would argue that those are the same people getting mad at people for being gay or trans or something. But that's a whole nother, just co-opting
whole other thing.
There's a whole other co-opting of people taking power over them, making them think that they have the power by, hating people that, they feel are less than them, because it's a cycle, really. But yeah, when you think about it, the people that are angry about a $15 minimum wage are the same people that are fine with a $1.5 billion tax cut.
I know, right? And it's the same. It's a lot of the same.
On people that actually made $1 billion off of the pandemic, which there's no reason why somebody like Jeff Bezos can't pay more money in taxes. Right. You don't need $1 billion.
It's all seen through a self-centered lens. It's what I am losing, what I can't have because of someone else's perceived gain.
Yeah. Also racism. But
racism. Yeah. Right. It's this is my pie and you can't have any of it. How dare you even ask? That's offensive and unfair to me.
Yeah.
To have to give up some of my pie.
Right. When it's just that
I wasn't going to eat it all.
Yeah. And also I don't know, maybe we could just make bigger pie.
Maybe we could just make bigger pie.
We literally have enough ingredients.
Also, we're a very fat nation. We don't all need to eat our own pie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should just eat less of the pie and you'll still be satisfied.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mindful eating, folks. Enjoy what you have.
Exactly.
You actually might be more satisfied.
Oh, you definitely would.
Yeah.
Yeah, think of all the heartburn we wouldn't have. But you think about it,
yep.
It somewhat does benefit everyone for more people to be making the amount of money that inflation stipulates, right? Which isn't even that much money. Making $30,000 a year isn't any great shakes. So the fact that we're not even at that as a base right now, those people are going to put that money back into the economy. They're going to pay more taxes. If we lift people out of poverty, then they don't need to be on welfare assistance programs. So that actually saves the government money. And
that's money we can put somewhere else.
The people the argument about the small businesses might be put out of business, or maybe people in your town just have more money to come spend at your business.
Mm-hmm. Or it's what was the incentivizing so that small businesses do this, giving them some incentive to make it easier until business catches up, because it will catch up.
And it's supposed to happen in as a process. It's going to it's gradual. So it's not exactly. They're going to pass it and then the way they passed the Tax Cuts and Job Act in, on December 29th. And they were this counts for next year, bitches. And every tax attorney in the world was an accountant was oh my God, I have all these rules that I have to learn in 3 days. It's not it's that
right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good times.
Good times. Anyway, speaking of racist shit, speaking of racist stuff, I looked up the Dr. Seuss books. Here are the 6 books that they're ceasing to publish. The people, business that preserves and protects his legacy. So Dr. Seuss Enterprise is not the Democrats. They're the ones who decided that they were going to stop publishing, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. And the reason they said, was these books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprises catalog represents and supports all communities and families. So one of the big things, yeah, and we don't need to like continue to like rehash the stuff that's in these books, but like I did mean to say earlier, it's also like how you portray things to children kind of affects how they then see those human beings like growing up. So like if you have a book like the Richard Scarry book that's showing kids that like the minorities, the Native Americans, the indigenous people, whatever, like they're the ones that the sheriffs are always trying to get in those books, they're going to grow up with that in the implicit bias in the back of their mind now implanted like, oh, those are the people like when we play cops and robbers, they're the ones that are the robbers.
It's like that is literally how implicit bias gets baked into our psyche.
That's why it's implicit.
We are not born thinking. We're not born with these biases. They're learned, and you're exactly right. That is how that happens.
And if you're upset about it, then get the fuck on eBay and order your copy because they're still out there. They're just not publishing them anymore.
That's just it. Like, it's not like these people that are all up in arms are actually reading these books anyway, or ever thought about them since they were a child. It's just that now all of a sudden, because they're taking this move, they're like, oh my God, they can't do cancel culture, like blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, first of all, why do you want to read racist books in the first place? Like, what's wrong with you? Second of all, you weren't like, this wasn't even on your radar until now. That's the part that's like, really?
I mean, could you even, Colleen just said the names of the books. Could you recite back any of them? I couldn't.
Nope.
I haven't read any of them. Like, they're not the more popular Dr. Seuss books.
They aren't. And I will say, like, I didn't even realize that Dr. Seuss was, like, racist and anti-Semitic until probably a couple years ago. It's, like, fairly recently that somebody pointed it out to me. I was like, no, this is why we can't have nice things. I will say, I'm right there with everyone being disappointed to find out that somebody that I liked as a child did some really shitty things. But, like, that is also life. So we can mourn that together. But that doesn't mean that we should just be like, oh, let's keep selling books that have terrible messages.
And two things can be true. You can really like Horton Hears a Who or How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but you can also recognize that the person who wrote those books was flawed. And some of the more flawed books maybe don't need to see light of day. Like maybe we can make room for new books that aren't like that.
Exactly. There are so many great up and coming children's authors out there right now. We can give these books a break and let some new voices come in
it's only
and have
6
a little
books.
room.
Dr. Seuss has like 100. I know. They're all in my fucking house.
He's fine.
He's dead.
his estate and his kids and everyone's fine. I'm sure that's connected.
It will still be one of the best selling children's books of all time, even without these 5.
It's not even giving them a break, really, because you weren't reading them anyway. That's
the thing.
To be fair,
one's gifting whoever it is at the zoo.
If I ran the zoo,
I literally cannot tell you the 5 titles you just said like 5 minutes ago.
So to be fair, to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street and If I Ran the Zoo are books that we own and I've read and I'm more familiar with, to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street because it's about this kid that like his dad asks him every day, like, how was your day? And he says the standard kid thing, like, it was fine, it was nothing. And then, one day was like, I want to impress my dad and tell him this super cool thing that happened to me. So every page he like makes up this like bigger and bigger and more grandiose story. So, you take out the racist stuff, it's somewhat relatable as a kid that exaggerated herself. But, and then at the very end, the kid realizes that he shouldn't lie to his father, and he says nothing. So it's like, when my dad asks, I'm going to tell him this, I'm going to tell him this, I'm going to tell him this. And like within the things that he's going to tell him are, like some questionable stereotypes. And then it gets to it, and dad asks, and he's like, nothing. So, I don't dislike this overall story of the book, but like, I'm okay with us putting it out of like commission because,
like we will survive.
Yeah, we're going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
We're going to be okay. You know what? I'm sure that you can just skip forward from the Muppet Show. This contains insensitive stuff. Spoiler alert for anybody out there that would be upset. Peter Pan also is pretty bad, and it has a warning now, and it's bad. There's a lot of Tiger Lily stuff, and it's just Not great, Dan. Like, not great at all.
That doesn't surprise me. That sounds about right.
Right, and you can tell, you can, like, as an adult, recognize the context of the time. And, you know, just like when we rewatch teen movies from the 90s, and it's like, got jokes like, you're gay, dude. And it's like, okay, that was the context of the time. We as adults can recognize it, but, like, you know, we don't need to perpetuate that kind of stuff. Like, there's nuance, as we were talking about. There's always nuance.
Things always hold up, and that's not a bad thing, because that means we have made progress as a society.
Right. Exactly. And, like, there's a difference between, like, recognizing something as problematic and recognizing that you might like something that also has some elements to it that are like, yikes. Looking at you, friends.
Yep. Yep.
And there will be things that come out now that will be like, yikes, in 10 years. So.
Right. Because it's not about canceling. It's about having the conversation about why it is no longer appropriate in society today.
Right. And learning and growing, because we're all
learning and growing. Exactly. It's about having that hard conversation.
Exactly. All right. Well, everybody, good talk tonight. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We appreciate it. Let us know again if you want to hump with us on March 6th. It will not be recorded. It will just be a Slack channel of us all watching the Hump Film Festival together. The link is in the show notes if you want to get your tickets. Just again, let us get in touch with us somehow. Make sure that we've seen your message, and we'll send you the Slack invite. If you have any feedback about what we've done tonight, thebroadcasters3@gmail.com, or give us a call. We love voicemails, 331-276-2373. The meetup, we're in the process of figuring out a fall date for the meetup. So if you are interested in that, I think we're looking at either late September, very end of September, or early October as of right now. So stay tuned for that. Thank you to the patrons. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/jayandjack, or go to jayandjack.com and click on the Become a Patron link on the top right-hand corner of the page. Thank you to the patrons that contribute a certain level, and that would be Eckhart Rickner, Tack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Greg the Grey, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed the Creepy Mailman. Thank you guys so much. We still need to have that champagne brunch that we keep talking about. It's going to happen. 2020 is still over. 2021 has been a bit of a mess as well, but like 2020 is over, so we've got to get on that as well. But in the meantime, welcome to March, everybody. Welcome back.
It's like you never left.
Like you never left.
There and back again.
There and back again. On that note, my name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.